Remember when you were studying maths at school? The teacher was never satisfied that you got the correct answer without cheating, so they insisted that you show your workings. Well, as a writer, I don't normally do that, often because there are no workings. It's just a flash of inspiration and a bit of furious typing. But today, I'm going to make an exception. The story I'm about to lay before you pulls together several familiar threads: mentorship, driver aids, artificial intelligence, autonomous equipment, and the construction sites of the future. I'm not going to address those factors in alphabetical or chronological order. Instead, I'll explore them as we go along and I'll do my best to weave them into a single simple idea. So let's go back. Why are we looking increasingly to autonomous equipment and artificial intelligence in the first place? The answer is simple yet complex, straightforward yet nuanced. At heart, the main driver for autonomy is often said to be a growing shortage of skilled and competent workers. As an industry, we've stood idly by while our workforce has aged, and we've done precious little about it. In fact, at the same time, we failed to attract sufficient young people to replace those at or near the end of their careers. We encourage some of our most experienced operators toward the exit by removing their grandfather rights. Of course, the industry's push for autonomy isn't solely due to a shortage of skilled operators. Humans are fallible, vulnerable, and therefore unreliable. They expect holidays. They're susceptible to sickness, real or imagined. Some show up drunk, some don't show up at all. Worse still, human decisions are often driven by factors other than logic. Some operators crank the revs up to full throttle because they like the roar of the engine, give no thought to fuel consumption. Some prioritise speed over safety. Some cut corners simply because it's Friday afternoon and the pub is calling to them. Autonomous machines, by contrast, are driven by pure, unassailable logic. They do what they're programmed to do and they don't deviate. They extract every last ounce of value from their fuel, and they are the perfect custodians of themselves, constantly monitoring for faults and wear. It's an uncomfortable truth, but autonomous machines are faster, more efficient, and more economical than their human counterparts. And they don't get hangovers. So that ultimately is where we're heading. But the journey from fully human to fully autonomous is not a straight line. There will be stop offs and diversions along the way. And one of those stop offs is the halfway house of driver aids. At their most basic level, driver aids act as constraints, preventing overdigging or overextending. But now we're seeing the emergence of a new generation of aids that enhance, not restrict, that complement rather than control. A prime example of that is the intelligent machine control built into the new Komatsu PC220 LCI 12. That system introduces auto swing, enabling semi automatic truck loading. In simple terms, it records an operator's dig, boom raise, and dump actions, and then repeats them with virtually no human input at all. Now, keep that record and replicate capability in mind while I take a slight tangent here. Modern machines are bursting with software systems, and those systems open the door to entirely new business models. Bobcat, for example, has floated the idea of paying to unlock additional power capabilities for particularly tough applications. Caterpillar 2 has apparently pre installed functions in some machines that can be activated through licensing or rental. And this is where I begin to tie together all of these threads: AI, autonomy, and future job sites. And I'm going to put around it a big bow marked mentorship. Now, we already know that Komatsu can replicate a human operator's actions. We know Bobcat and Caterpillar envision a future of software unlocked functionality. So, how about this as an idea? Imagine if we could digitally capture the skills of an experienced operator, skills that could then be licensed, rented, or unlocked depending on the task. You could unlock the Gary module for super efficient truck loading. You could unlock the Jim module for precise trenching, or the Dan module for deep drainage, or even the Paul module for high reach demolition. A fusion of AI and intelligence capture could bridge the skills gap between today's human led operations and tomorrow's semi or fully automated job sites. We might not have mentors in the traditional sense, but it is possible that the skills of our very best operators could live on in software form, and this could conceivably extend way beyond mentorship. Imagine a rookie operator stepping into the cab of a modern excavator. Instead of spending months shadowing a seasoned veteran, they activate a digital module, maybe the Gary module for efficient truck loading. Instantly, they're guided by AI driven prompts, replicating the refined techniques of an expert. And that scenario isn't a distant dream. It's an emerging reality with the ability to reshape how we approach training and daily operations in the construction industry. Traditionally, mastering heavy machinery required prolonged apprenticeships, with novices learning through observation and gradual hands on experience. With the advent of AI and machine learning, new operators could access on demand training modules that encapsulate the best practices from seasoned professionals. Those modules could offer real time guidance, allowing learners to practice and internalize optimal techniques from the outset. So, at some point in the future, an inexperienced operator might encounter something he or she has never seen before. Instead of thinking to themselves, what would Gary do in this situation? They could press a button and know precisely what Gary would do in that situation. And the integration of AI doesn't stop at initial training. Suppose an operator encounters challenges with trenching stability mid project. The system can promptly suggest activating the GYM module, providing immediate, task specific guidance. Such micro learning interventions would enable operators to address issues in real time, minimizing delays and maintaining project momentum. The flexibility offered by these modules allows for dynamic allocation of skills across various tasks. For instance, an operator might utilize the DAN module for deep drainage in the morning and switch to the Gary module for truck loading in the afternoon. This adaptability could potentially reduce reliance on specialized personnel and enable teams to respond quickly and swiftly to changing project demands. We're currently losing experienced operators far too quickly, and we're attracting newcomers far too slowly. And against that background, we're in serious danger of squandering the knowledge and wisdom of some of our very best before it can be passed on to the next generation. But by harnessing AI technology, those newcomers could still draw upon all that accumulated knowledge long after those industry veterans have hung up their boots.